Hey, Shalom, family, peace and blessings. Welcome back to Connecting the Dots via Jacob's Ladder, brother Ezra.
Relical Hall.
And sorry, it's been a while, but we're gonna talk about this movie, Leave the World Behind. Um, I watched a couple different channels and different people talking about it. You know what I mean, with the things that they saw, and then other people calling into their channels and saying what they saw, and little Easter eggs, and I kind of dabbled in all different genres. People that don't understand who the real people are and everything like that, just to see what they're saying. And so I put this stuff together to show you what I've seen. And obviously there's other things in there I'm not going to touch on, you know what I mean, as far as like dealing with the blue all over the movie, the color contrast that they were trying to do, or the pictures in the backgrounds changing, behind the bed or on the living room and all that stuff. You can find that stuff from everybody else, because I see the significance, but the main point that was from what I've seen in this movie that was getting across was that Israel is going to be going home soon. and it's throughout the movie. It's throughout the whole movie, and that's throughout the whole movie. And then also the reason why this place is going to get destroyed because of what they do and continue to do is also throughout the whole movie as well. There are a lot of biblical references, knowingly and unknowingly, to certain people's eyes. So you want to say anything before I go in on some of these?
No, I just let the spirit go. I mean, it's like I said, it's obvious. This movie's talking about our deliverance and the nature of the relationship between Jacob and Esau. Obviously, you know what I mean, and yeah. So it's just want to see where this study goes, or this evaluation of this movie goes.
All right. So right off the first scene starts with this. I'm using a Canadian prepper, so you can go and watch his take on it. I don't believe in everything that he believes, and he definitely don't believe in everything I believe. So, but he had good insight, on a lot of things, and plus, I don't know where he got all his screenshots from, but he got way more screenshots than I can get for some reason, and clips. And for some reason, it blacked it out when I try to record clips. So, it is what it is. So, right off the bat, when the movie opens up, as far as like showing the people and stuff, it shows. Well, actually, first it starts with the propaganda of the Earth. You know what I mean? Looking like a ball. You know what I mean? Gotta start with that.
That. Like,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Gotta start with that. Gotta show the frozen flag on the moon. You know what I mean?
Angel, female angel, how that happened.
So, and the opening scene, you got the husband laying in the bed. You got the blue again. The contrast with the blue. For me, the blue was just a symbol of a crack in the foundation of America. And you know what I mean, it could fall apart at any moment, so to speak. Or you could look at it as a crack in the firmament, you know what I mean, representing Christ coming back soon. So it all depends on how you look at certain things, right? And then in the beginning you had, you know what I forgot? Real quick. Port Comfort. Let me see if and leave. This is how you look up stuff. Just type it in however you think you asking somebody a question, and see if a picture of it pulls up. Don't really matter. It's not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna find it. I'm not gonna waste my time on it right now. So you have like what looks like a 76ers cup right here, a clock, and then another clock over here that's being covered up by this really expensive. I actually looked it up. This cream, because it show it twice. There's another digital clock over here, and there's this face cream that's covering it up. and then it shows it again when they're in the vacation house. Spoiler alert: there's going to be semi. What do you call those? Spoilers.
Right.
So, this cream is super expensive. I looked into some other stuff about the book because they kept showing. There's a lot of things that they'll show you as a still frame. You know what I mean? And you can actually see certain things and pull that out of the movie, go do some research on it. But the whole fact is they got a decent house, but obviously they got cracks in the wall, so they ain't well off. You know what I mean? Like they ain't super rich in New York. You know what I mean? But this cream costs anywhere between like $100 to like $300 for your face, for her face, right? So anyway, you have the 6 over here, the 6 here, and then the 6 there. So we already know what that represents. So it's already right off the bat letting you know.
It's who's sanctioning this movie.
Yeah, because they have to let us know. They gotta put it out there. You know what I mean? So he's like, it's me.
And the thing is with these kind of messages, because it's even said it in the Bible, right? Go to the mysteries of the kingdom. To them it's given, to you it's given, but to them it's not given. Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing. Tell them in a way that they don't understand, but give them the information. Yeah. So that's what they're doing, is having to put it out there and stuff. But at the same time, it's going to tell you in a way to where if you're not paying attention, you got to piece those dots together, and you ain't paying attention, it's going to go right over your head.
Yep. Gotta.
And do you think that's a coincidence? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. 3 6s. When people been talking about 666 for the longest time, and all of a sudden it shows up in a movie like such as this.
Yeah, everything is placed where they want it. The time is where they want it, and the angle, because they could have shot an angle a little bit further to the left, where it would have showed the full 630 on that side, or it could have been 630 something else, or it could have just been 5. It could have been 7 o'clock or whatever. You know what I mean? Like. It's just all those things matter. Are you saying why?
I'll say why do you think one light is on and the other light is off? Do you think that?
I don't know. I don't know. Because this one, that's his side. I don't know if he turned it on. I don't remember that part in the movie. If he turned it on, because she's already out of the bed and got everything packed and ready to go. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You had a thought on there? Or you just wondering?
Noticed it.
Yeah, I haven't. That's one of those things where there's a bunch of little stuff like that. You can go back to this movie and catch all kind of stuff. But
the more and more you watch it, the more you see.
Yeah, and there's stuff that I've seen, but like I said, I'm not really going to touch on them because to me the most important thing is dealing with the stuff that is significant to us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, like I said, he shows in his video. You know what I mean? This is one of the pictures that changes. It has like 4 clear, defined lines in this picture, and then over time, near the end, it's all blurry. It's all mixed together, right? And it looks more chaotic versus how it looks a little bit more clean. Then he has a little 4 picture thing here, but the main thing I'm going into now would be. Actually, I'm gonna start here. Actually, you can't see it on here, so I have my own picture of it. This is one of the things that I've noticed in the film is that the family, mainly the husband and the wife, know about our people, Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom. They enjoy the benefits of our people. And disregard us as equals or anything, you know what I mean, just really more or less than, you know what I mean. So one thing, the first one after I went back and noticed it was right now they're at the beach, they're eating guacamole. Who if you use guacamole is considered what kind of? So Issachar, you know what I mean, so-called Hispanics, right. You know what I mean. You Mexicans, you know what I mean? So they're chilling, eating their salsa and chips on the beach, right? Mm-hmm. So that's just keep that in mind as I go through, like I'm going kind of like in the timeline of the movie. So this ship starts to show up. The little girl notices the oil tanker from afar off, and I think the way they did it was like the little children, like to be like little children, they, you know what I mean, to notice certain things, and everybody else, the other three didn't really catch it, and they're kind of just you know what I mean, just shoot it away like, oh, it's whatever, you know what I mean, it's way out there, but it's clearly going straight. There's no dock over here, you know what I mean, like why is it coming towards us, you know what I mean? It makes no sense, you know what I mean? For her, it's like, this makes no sense, but to them, they're like, it's whatever, I'm just gonna go back to doing what I'm doing and not paying attention to it.
And what the dynamic you have within that family is the total dysfunctional just makeup of America, how they establish family. You know, you have the child, like you said, that is the only one that's spiritually aware of what you basically said, come to this, you know, gospel as little children. So she's more spiritually aware of what's going on, and then you got that feminist mess going on. Obviously, the man is not standing up as a man in his household. The woman basically, you know, runs the house, and plus she has a Karenicity to her. And then the son, he's, you know what I'm saying? He's just one of those what do you call those goofballs? You know what I'm saying? He's totally out of touch, you know, with anything that's going on and stuff. You know, he's in his own little world. When the whole world is falling apart, he can't see it. You know what I'm saying? Little girl can. Karen, you know, she's just being an atypical Karen, you know, and then like I said, a feminist, and then the you know, the father has no backbone. You know what I'm saying? He ain't taking charge of his family, take leadership and taking hold the direction and in the mindset of his family. You know what I'm saying? So it's just showing you how the destructive way that America is a structured family life in its culture and stuff. And then, you know, just real quick on the ship, which is an interesting thing. You know, of course they say that in history, one of the first ships that came over was White Lion, right? So you got the White Lion, which, you know, brought over what so-called Negroes.
I have that. If you're gonna go into it right now,
yes, the ship's there. So, but what was that? What was this particular ship in the movie carrying? it's an oil tanker, right?
Yeah.
And so, what was the White Lion carrying before? Now, what does that oil represent? Money.
Yep.
Wealth.
Trade is trade.
And it was black.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you got that going on with the slave ships in the past. You know what I'm saying? Trade, wealth. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
On the White Line ship. So there you go.
Yeah, and one thing that I didn't get like a screenshot of, like I was saying earlier, was port when they were driving in, it showed port comfort in the beginning, like when they're on their way to their little vacation home, they showed on like the freeway sign 76 exit, and I haven't seen anything specifically about 76. I did type in like 76 for gematria and stuff like that, and it did say something about awakening and stuff like that. So that might be why you have 76 on the cup, and then 76 on the sign, and then Port Comfort, which is where the so-called what was it, the White Lion, where it landed, was in Port Comfort, modern day Hampton Road. So it wasn't actually, that's in Virginia, not in New York or wherever they were at, you know what I mean? But they were using that as a reference point. So you got White Lion, which is dealing with us and getting dropped off over here at 1619. Then you have Port Comfort on the sign, which is just another reference to the same thing. And then oops, I didn't really click on that, but just remember the guacamole thing, and then obviously the thing dealing with the these when they were at the, what do you call that, the beach, and this showing up like you were saying earlier, this showing up representing us being brought over here, but could also represent them going into slavery too, because you see they're running away. There's no black people on the beach,
right?
You know what I mean? So just like that showed up to take us away,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and put us into bondage. You know what I mean? Now it's showing up again, but instead of us being the ones that's running away, it's them running away. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of stuff is twofold, you know, throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see, I had
And then it's ironic that the ship was called White Lion, and they had Judah inside that ship.
So when they obviously when they leave, they go back to the house. Before they it'll show it on here. He has it somewhere. This is when the girl first, like, I think she first starts to see the deer. And I ain't gonna bring up the deer. I couldn't really find anything. Everybody is speculating on what the deer actually mean. I think I have an idea somewhat of what it means, but I ain't gonna say for sure what it means. But the husband,
Well, usually what it is with the animals, you know, they're more in tune than the, you know, the Most High Christ, you know, the spiritual change, because the animals are acting different, you know.
yeah,
You know, they're acting ironic and strange, and you know what I'm saying, and they're like they're seeing something and they're noticing stuff that we don't that we can't pick up on and stuff, you know.
yeah, definitely got that out of there. It's just more so of like the particular reason they were doing some of the things they were doing. You know what I mean? If they were trying to get a point across, like as far as what, yeah, you know what I mean. Whatever message they were trying to get across, I don't think a lot of people are hitting it. You know what I mean? Aside from just the fact that the spiritual aspect of things is flipping. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole point of this movie is things flipping. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
You know, no, I'm just saying, and you know, yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't want to go too much in that.
Yeah, so the husband said, when they saw the deer, he said, in Mesoamerican mythology, is like the seeing deer or whatever is good luck or something like that. So you go into Mesoamerican mythology and it shows you the Aztecs, the Maya, Meztec, Olmec, Zapotec, and Lincoln. So, and obviously the Aztecs, the Mayans, you know what I mean? You start to deal with more northern kingdom again.
Right.
So you got, they like to eat their food. The husband understands, you know what I mean, a decent amount of Mesoamerican mythology history, you know what I mean? And then again, like pointing out later in the movie, you see, I think actually in the beginning, she likes listening to black music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ironically,
and, you know,
it still represents America. You know, we love everything about you, but we could despise you at the same time.
Yeah.
And stuff. And we don't want you to know, or we don't want you to feel that admiration we have for you. But at the same time, we're going to stick it in your face that we don't mind taking your culture. You know.
So obviously that was a weird thing that I noticed, and then obviously it's even more. That I'm having bringing up right now, but I'll bring it up later as far as why I'm saying that. But you had the part where they showed up to the house, you know what I mean, and they're like, you know, this is my place, you know what I mean. I ain't gonna lie, the way they filmed it made it seem like they might be scheming,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't just because they were black. The way they put it out there was just kind of weird. You know what I mean? And they were acting kind of weird too. You know what I mean?
No ID or anything.
Yeah.
No pictures. No. You know, only thing, he had a key to the little dressing thing to get whatever. I forgot what he got out of it, but you know, he showed he had actually access to private things over there. But yeah,
and it made sense for you if you're renting a house. You don't need to keep all your your personal, you know what I mean? Because we went to Airbnbs and stuff. A lot of times you won't see.
Well, you see pictures.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you see pictures or something.
You know what I mean? They might forget like one or two to take down, but some places, you know what I mean? Especially if it's high end, they don't, you know what I mean? They take those things down or whatever. But, you know what I mean? One thing you referenced too, which I thought about was he had the key. You know what I mean? We talk about the keys to the kingdom and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? The husband was like, well, he had the key. You know what I mean? Like, if, you know what I mean, there's obviously theirs because he had the key.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the wife was like, well, it could be this and it could be this. He could be the maintenance guy and she could be the maid and this and, you know what I mean? Blah, blah. Right. Constantly just making excuses.
And just rather show you about the society that, you know, Negroes, you know, but the problem is with that is like, you know, Negroes, you ain't supposed to have nothing in this kingdom. And which it would have been fine if you would have told us that the whole way through. And says, look, y'all are going to be slaves until Christ comes and gets you. You know what I'm saying? But you try to trick us into believing and acting as if we have equal footings in this society. We had every opportunity to have equal footing in the society, but at the same time, you look at us like, oh, how could you have that? How could you afford something like this?
Yeah, that's like what she said in the scene. She's like, this is your house?
Yeah. So meaning,
that's what the daughter picked up, like,
so
you know what I mean? Like,
they're speaking with a hypocritical tone when they've been dealing with us the whole time. It's like, you knew the whole time we weren't going to excel in this kingdom and stuff, and you were acting like, you know, that, you know, y'all didn't want us to recognize we're going to be slaves until Christ comes and get us. So you didn't want us to tap in with our spiritual, coming together, praying to our God, praying, you know, acknowledging the Son and all that stuff the proper way. So you want to make it seem like, oh no, you know, you have an opportunity like everybody else. So yeah, that mindset, you know, was well established in this and in her attitude throughout the whole point when they were there. Even them guys sleeping in the basement of their own house, you know what I'm saying? Even when they left and came back, which was ironic, but yeah.
Yeah, so they let me see.
What was that? That's like Esau holding on to the last bit of power that you know what I'm saying? He's sleeping in the basement in his own house. Okay, you know, of course we constantly accommodating, you know what I'm saying? Just like the Christ that's in us, that we do. And then once they left, you know what I'm saying? You've given up all. I mean, he was begging them to stay, and they was adamant about leaving. You know, as long as I can protect my family, the heck with you. So if I come back, it's going to be because I'm trying to protect myself. The heck with you. But you're going to receive them anyway, regardless of how they acted. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to sacrifice for them. But at the end of the day, they were going to be self-preservation. You know what I'm saying? So and then when they came back, they still get the bedrooms, you know, the upstairs bedrooms.
Yeah, and one thing that I noticed before, I think this actually showed up before they came in. This is like right before they knocked on the door. It was a clock with the sad face for 11:17. So I was just like, let me just go in the scriptures real quick and find some verses that's dealing with similar references that they have in the movie already. So Ezekiel 11:17. The reason I went 16 to 17.
Because 16 rolls into 17 on the clock.
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually in between 16 and 17 on the clock. So
the message is somewhere in between these scriptures.
So Ezekiel chapter 11 verse 16. Therefore say thus saith the Lord God, although I have cast them far off among the heathen. That's why they got this is a sad face on the clock. For it might be for us, or the sad face might be for them. I don't know. Although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. Therefore, say, thus saith God, the Lord God, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. So going back to the white lion, us being scattered over here, and then you got this little sad clock. You know what I mean? I think it was more so.
Us.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Us.
You know what I mean? It's about that time. Is what that was referencing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then once they started dealing with the, actually starting to figure out what was going on. I don't know. I can't remember exactly which part was which, but I'm just gonna go to this part next. So the cyber attack, and a lot of people caught this. There's a QR code right here in this map, and if you scan it, it takes you to this abandoned amusement park that was built, was beginning to get built over a basically like a native graveyard, but like it wasn't like a graveyard grave. It was like they got massacred over there. You know what I mean? So they stopped building it after they found multiple bodies and stuff, and they just kind of just left it there. So that abandoned amusement park is still there. And for whatever reason, they put a QR code when you scan it. It takes you to that website explaining to you what happened about that. Well, if you zoom in, you can scan it. I don't know how they were able to do that, but it's a QR code. Wow. Yeah. Well, most people can scan it off the screen. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean, like if you're trying to log into like Amazon or something like that from your onto your new TV or something like that, it might give you a QR code to scan on your phone from the TV to approve it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is me on this TV or whatever. But so the main thing, obviously, the whole point of this movie was a cyber attack. I'm not gonna go too far into the other stuff again, but I do want to bring up this because just to show that it's not far off, and we be getting hit a lot. But this ain't about the news updates right now. It's more so about this. But I am gonna put this out here. This is in 2020. Charles Schwab, the evil guy. So let me play this.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
All right. So obviously he's talking about a cyber pandemic, and it's going to basically make the shutdowns of the 19 look like nothing. So, and obviously if you look at this movie, this is going to be way worse. You know what I mean? You don't know where you're going to be at when this happens. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to throw that in there to reference hey, they've been talking about this and they've been trying to so-called get ready for it, but crazy. So when they did all that stuff and they sent them down, below, like Q was talking about earlier, and they sent them down into the basement, which looks like the underneath a ship. If you was, like this, the rest of the house is all nice and modern, and then you got this underneath. You know what I mean? Even looks like it has windows. It looks like it has crates and stuff over here. It looks more like crates and or palaces. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you got that aspect of it. Just more reference. You know what I mean? Almost like you're only dealing with this for a little bit longer, type deal. And then on the wall, they had this map. He had this map on the wall. and I was able to find it, but I kept trying to look it up. It was hard to find. The only reason I found it is because I was listening to somebody else's channel and they put a link in the description, and I was able to find it that way. So it's the United States of Attica, and I actually have this pulled up because this ties back into everything that we were already talking about anyway. So this is an explanation of what this map actually is. So, or this poster. And so it's the poster. The United States of Attica was most widely distributed of Faith Ringgold's posters during the 1970s. It is dedicated to the men who died in 1971 at Attica prison for demonstrating against the deplorable conditions they faced as inmates. This red, black, and green poster depicts a map of the United States noting indigenous, slave, and immigrant uprisings and the dates and other details of acts of violence that occurred within each state since the 1700s. Racist violence, witch hunts, assassinations, lynchings, and other oppressive actions against the indigenous people of color in the United States. It also includes military imperialist violence committed by the United States abroad, for instance, in Japan and Vietnam. Countless injustices and atrocities written in small handwriting fill the map entirely and its surrounding periphery. A iconic innovation to add further fact or acts of violence emphasizes historical continuity and ceaselessness of violence as a defining characteristic of the development of the United States of America. And one thing that he put down here, like I guess underneath somewhere he signed it, he said, "This map of America violence is incomplete. Please write in whatever you find lacking." So you guys can, I'll probably put like a link in the description for it. Hopefully I'll remember to do that. But if not, you know what it's called, United States of Attica. You can go in and read some of these different things. You can actually zoom in. Hopefully you can see like what they're talking about. Like over here they have the Korean War, Hiroshima, you know what I mean? Like, and all those things are written in there. So again, just another reference, you know what I mean, of the violence done by, you know, America.
It's in the scriptures talk about the blood. Yeah, the land has to be cleansed with the blood that shed it, the blood.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Which brings me to the next thing. Which was, yes, it's somewhere in here. I'm not going to talk about the waves behind the thing. This lady. So you got this indigenous lady. You already talked about them enjoying their food. He knows the mythology of their ancient ancestors that was over here, you know what I mean, and all these different things. And he leaves her on the side of the road.
Yeah, bro.
Leave her on the side of the road because he can't understand her.
She's crying. She's begging. She's screaming. There's obviously there was something wrong. Now, this is the crazy thing about this depiction here, because he acting like, I'm so confused. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
it's like, look, bro, calm down. She's obviously hysterical. You live in an area where there's a lot of Spanish-speaking people. You're going into town. You couldn't just take the lady into town and find somebody there that spoke Spanish to service her needs.
Or take her back to the house because you don't know if neither one of the brother or his daughter speaks Spanish.
Right. Well, all right. Well, let's just say atypical. That'd have been like far-fetched, right?
Yeah.
You know, if I'm gonna go, it's like, the Negroes probably most likely. I mean, it's highly unlikely that they speak Spanish. So I'm going into town, so maybe I could find somebody there. If I can't find nobody there, I'm going back to the house anyway. You know what I'm saying? You could have killed two birds with one stone. But the case in point is, bro, you was going into town. Why couldn't you put her in the car and take her there to somebody that could have understood what she was talking about? You know what I'm saying? And you could have pretty much left her in their hands at that point, because ain't really much. You did your job. I mean, you did the best you could do, because you can't understand her and stuff unless he can be a bridge and she's saying something, and then he could be with y'all being the interpreter if that was needed. But if not, he could have just passed her off to the next one. Hey, man, I want to help her, but I can't understand her. So, hey.
Yeah.
That's why I just looked at it. I just looked at it when he left, bro. And then you could see how in his face, like he tried to pretend, like once he left, try to block it out of his mind, like he tried to pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like he was justifying what he was doing by ignoring what he just did.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And the crazy thing is when right before that happened, he got out of the car and they said something on the radio, but the radio said 1619, which is the year, you know what I mean?
That's the obvious one.
And then it says seek, even though it always says seek, but it's telling you seek 1619.
Basically, go back into your history
and learn the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so right after that, those red flyers and stuff came down, which give you a hint of like who might be behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And let me close some of these out. I'm gonna get this one away. Don't really need this one more.
And then didn't Christ say you reap what you sow?
Mm-hmm.
So just like this lady was screaming, hollering, begging, praying, basically for your assistance. And what did he do? He turned his back on him.
Yep.
So there's your other depiction right there.
Yeah.
As well. You reap what you sow.
Yeah, I talked about that. So one thing before I not go too far into what I was about to talk about. When they were laying in the bed, the husband and the wife, or even after just after they showed up, she kept saying our house. Even after they realized it's their house and accepted it, she still kept saying our house.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then he asked her, why didn't you say anything about the oil tanker? And he said it felt like it would be piling on. And then he asked her, and she said, she basically said, I didn't want to validate something. You know what I mean? She didn't want to, you know what I mean? Because she was scared that it's going to basically validate what they were saying.
Right.
Because they're at that was the first night they came, you know what I mean? They told them that there's a blackout, there's this happening, you know what I mean? We didn't really, you know what I mean? This and this. We felt better just coming back here. And she didn't want to, you know what I mean? So it's like, you had evidence that they're not privy to.
Right.
That will help both of you gain understanding and trust of one another, but you withhold that information because it's going to validate what he was saying.
Right.
Just, you know what I mean? Just to spite him. So that was crazy to me. You know,
constantly withholding truth.
Yeah. And I looked at that, you know what I mean, kind of like this, you know what I mean, not gonna believe even when we have the key, you still not gonna believe that we're the chosen people.
Yeah, don't believe that this is house. Don't believe. Yep.
Yeah. So
just like they don't believe the doctrine that Israel is going to be ruling the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's for everybody. Yeah, it's for everybody. Israel ruling, you guys being servants. Yeah. As long as you understand the relationship, or you're going to get a rude awakening. You're going to be very shocked.
So I ain't gonna touch too much into this, but the son had a shirt that said "Obey," and then you have NASA. So again, that the globe Earth propaganda, you know what I mean, talking about that stuff again. You know what I mean, trying to keep you docile.
Or there's also could be something that's going to come in the future where NASA's going to be putting out, because you're talking about aliens and all this stuff, invasion. So they might be putting out some propaganda out there,
Mm-hmm.
and telling you're going to tell people how to move. This is a report coming straight from NASA.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
They seen a spacecraft coming this way from such and such galaxy.
And remember, NASA is one of them derivatives of Satan.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. If you go into the Hebrew,
in
Hebrew, NASA is a derivative of Satan. So now you're getting another thing on top of that.
Yeah, it just keeps going and going. Then you got the plane crashing and stuff like that. The letter, this is going to get into like kind of just tying up the points that I had to make, was just more so like the biblical stuff. You know what I mean? Aside from the like worldly side of this thing, was you have Iran, and then when they go to his house, he was told that there was flyers dropped somewhere else that came from like Korea or China or something like that. One of his friends heard that, but he also heard that, oh no, it wasn't him, it was the brother. The brother heard that the Russian diplomats moved out of America a week or so ahead of that, or a couple of days before. I forgot how many days he said, but they moved. Russian diplomats left America ahead of time, so they knew it was coming. You got Russia, China, and Iran. You know what I mean? So I don't think some people picked that up, because the reference of Russia wasn't similar to the Iran. We're dealing with the flyers. That was China and Iran that had the flyers coming down, but Russia also got a heads up, apparently.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're probably part of it as well.
Oh, yeah. I just have this funny feeling.
Yeah. So that brings me to this. Isaiah 13. And this is what popped in my mind, and you get almost all of this in this movie. So it says, the burden of Babylon, which is America, which Isaiah's son Amos did see, lift up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. And the tumultuous noise reminded me of when they were, you know what I mean, multiple times throughout the movie, that loud noise happened. You know what I mean, to where they had to cover their ears. They come from a far country, from even the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. And then you see that, obviously, you start to see the beginning of that near the end. I don't know where it's at. Right there. You know what I mean? So the weapons come and destroy the whole land. How ye, yea, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Now, I don't know if that shows. I don't know if he had it on here. It don't show it, but right before that happened, the black girl and the Karen hold hands when they see this happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, snap! Like this is real. Like, you know what I mean? We thought it was just power outages or just weird stuff going on or whatever, and then nope, You know what I mean? So therefore shall all hands be faint. And that's basically what happened. You know what I mean? And every man's heart shall melt. You know what I mean? That's what they felt at that time when they seen
losing that control.
Mm-hmm.
That American control is over.
Yeah. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light, and the sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And
Wait a minute, God so loved the world.
Hey,
what happened?
Not this particular one.
Okay.
And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of her fierce anger, his fierce anger. And it shall be as the chased roe, as the sheep that no man taketh up. It shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. I guess going back to the ships.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes.
Now, see, what is that really saying? Now, that's like almost like a warning to the Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
Cold warning.
Yeah.
Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. So the judgment is coming down on the enemy of Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So you could join yourself onto this fallen kingdom and the people that control it if you want to.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Right here. And their houses shall be spoiled.
Oh, and it goes back to what these guys are doing in the media. Why ain't black people trying to support us and us destroying these people over here? Trying to get us to join on to the evil and the wicked. Just constantly driving us to join as if we're going to be the shields of God, the Most High's wrath, you know what I'm saying, at the time of his anger for them, if we're constantly joining on to him as if we want to protect them. And like I said, more and more of our people is like, man, I ain't in the middle of y'all mess.
Yeah,
Stop trying to get us involved. Brothers don't even know why they're doing it outside of, it don't make sense to even be a part of it, but realize there's something else going on there. What I see now, just reading that scripture, that's what they're trying to do.
Yep. It says, and their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, and their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, like I was saying, Iran, China, Russia, which shall not regard silver as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall their Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But the wild beasts, going back to the animals, you seen the animals, they kept coming back to the house like, y'all leave yet?
Take it over, right?
Y'all gone yet? Oh, they're still here. Let's go back into the woods.
So like, get it on, little doggy.
It says, but the wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures owls shall dwell there, and Satyrs
Satyrs.
satyrs shall dance there. And then what you had? So you had the deer showing up. You had the flamingos showing up. You know what I mean?
Broken glass access to the houses and stuff like that. So, you know, birds can go all up in there and other creeping things.
Yep. And it says, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So that's what I got. That's what I got from this movie.
Yeah, you saw that they had that abandoned house too. You know, the little girl went into that bunker.
Yeah, there's already abandoned houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it shows them, you know what I mean? You know, we even go into the scripture where it talks about them crawling out of their holes, out of the ground, like worms and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's definitely a lot of the movie, but that's mainly what I got, you know what I mean, as far as scriptures, you know what I mean, that will pop in my head as I start to listen to other people's channels, and then went back and watched the movie for the second time. So yeah, it's a strange movie. Got a lot of people talking, a lot of people talking, and a lot of people doing research. You know what I mean. So keep in mind, there's a reason that map was there. It was there, and then it's just too many coincidences to have that map and then a QR code for a place where people were slaughtered. You know what I mean? And then you know what I mean, like all that kind of stuff. All of it was pertaining to Israel, Northern and Southern Kingdom. And just being ignored, you know what I mean? Just blatant ignorance, so you know what I mean, and willful ignorance, you know what I mean, was displayed as well. So yeah, just, you know, go check it out if you know what I mean, if you want to or whatever, you know what I mean. But it's just showing you that our time is close. Oh, you know what I forgot? So in the movie, it showed an eclipse. It showed an eclipse. I forgot where it was at in the movie, but it showed an eclipse. And everybody's been talking about this eclipse that's coming back over in April of next year, of 2024, and it's going to make an X right over America.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the final hit. It's over.
Which Time's is right around Passover, too.
Passover, that's right.
So, you know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, why y'all show an eclipse? A random eclipse?
Yeah, because when Columbus was able to take down America back in the day, the X, you know, I wasn't there, so I can't verify it. But supposedly, there was the X that was over the sky as well during that time to signify that the Israelites were going to be taken
exiled
down. Yeah, you know, from power. And that folly that Judah did by giving Caesar the power, now it was in his hand now. And so, yep. So it's going to mark it back. The power's coming back to Israel. We only got how many more months?
The world is about to flip.
How many more months before that spiritual power comes?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Esau, enjoy your kingdom until it falls. Or, as you go bless Jacob, you be blessed. You got a little bit more time.
Yep.
Let it all down, man. Sell off thy halves, give to the poor, and store up your riches and kingdom as a rich slave opposed to a poor one.
And leave the world behind.
Yeah, leave the world behind. Yeah.
Man, so yeah, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Links are in the description for the actual Jacob's Ladder channel and the affiliate channels that we subscribe to as well. And yeah, man, crazy times. You got anything?
That's it, bro. It's self-explanatory.
All right, we'll be seeing y'all pretty soon. I'm gonna be making sure I get on here a lot more often. So, all right, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Shalom.
Stolen identity. When the father not your arm, you got limited reach. Still in the streets, Roman soldiers killing the sheep. The Almighty watching close as he sits in the seat. The shepherds beside him. There's an angel with a book who chose to believe and who never decided. In the belly of them ships with a special assignment. I know it's chains on us now, but it's heaven inside us. A generation that'll do what we never accomplished. Returning to the words that he said in his promise.